It's the worst of the CBC for September 12th, 2019, the show where I watch the CBC so you don't have to. And we have to do it a bit differently this week because with the election coverage starting, they're not doing strict 1 hour formats. It's hard to cover in a perfect, omission, worst story. We'll still have the Rosemary Barden scale, but we have to go a bit off the cuff. So I want to point out first that they did have a story where someone brought up the different types of fake news. CBC is going to monitor fake news during the election and let you know what is and isn't fake news. God help us all. So they brought in their tech expert, and this lady goes on saying there's 3 types of fake news: misinformation, disinformation, and political spin. So disinformation is just outright lying. Hillary and Justin Trudeau met for a crazy sex baby orgy in the basement of your mom's house last night. Misinformation, which is, they just get something wrong or they whatever. But they left out the biggest category of fake news, which is fake news by omission. And the reason they left it out is because the CBC is fake news by omission. That is what they do. And the way they are fake news is, I had said yesterday that they were not covering the SNC-Lavalin scandal with the new developments, knowing that Trudeau had stonewalled the RCMP. And I was saying this is the same network that had covered the Russiagate stuff, which had pretty much been debunked. And there are so many legitimate criticisms of Trump. He is a Putin agent, is not one of them. Today, they actually spent more time on Russiagate and Mueller because the Democrats' impeachment or something than SNC-Lavalin developments. The only thing they said about SNC-Lavalin developments is a reporter asked questions about the new SNC-Lavalin developments. Now, this is where it's fake news by admission. So they didn't cover it, so they omit this story. Then they say there was something happened, so they technically cover it, but they omit the fact that he stonewalled the RCMP. He's not letting the RCMP investigate by waiving cabinet confidence. Now, this becomes more significant because Stephen Harper waived cabinet confidence in an election year to let the RCMP look into the Mike Duffy Accord. The Liberals under Paul Martin waived cabinet confidence to look into the ad scam scandal. This is the unprecedented move. It's Justin Trudeau's not waiving. And Justin Trudeau will say, we gave a waiver while so they can look into it. He's lying. And the other thing he's lying about is he said, I will never apologize for standing up for Canadian jobs. Also, screw Alberta, and we hate their jobs. So that was hilarious. And no one's challenged him on the fact that SNC-Lavalin itself said those jobs weren't in jeopardy, and they weren't going to lose jobs. They just weren't going to be able to bid on government contracts going forward. This is the real scandal. So this is fake news by omission. So they actually went into the Donald Trump trying to get him on obstruction for a crime that they admit never happened, versus Justin Trudeau, who is publicly obstructing a crime that we all admit did happen. This is fake news by omission. There's also the fact that they again, the most talked about thing when it comes to the Conservatives, when they talk about the Conservatives, about 75% of the talk on the Conservatives is about abortion, even though Andrew Scheer said it's not on the table, right? And then moral panic because some Conservative MPs are actually, pro-life. But they say, interesting again, phraseology here, they say Liberals support a women's right to choose and human rights for women, and they say anti-abortion MPs on the Conservatives, not pro-life, right? They're anti-abortion, right? And Liberals are in favor of women's rights to choose. So this is why people don't trust them. This is why it's fake news. They're fake news by omission. They are political spin. They're all the things they claim that they're going to protect you from. So that is the worst story and omission. I think it's how they either ignore Scheer or turn him into some sort of, religious zealot. They brought on someone to call Maxime Bernier repugnant. His repugnant views on multiculturalism. And what was the other one they said? I can't even remember. But he just said we should repeal the Multiculturalism Act. And Bernier, I know some of Bernier's candidates. They're not all white people. Like, they're all straight white males, right? He's pretty libertarian on the fact. So what is the CBC? The CBC is going to save you from fake news, but it is fake news in itself. And the fact that it is fake news by omission is probably the most dangerous type of fake news. So that's really what I have to say about today. It's about the fact that they're not covering the SNC-Lavalin scandal. It literally got one line. The Russiagate scandal, which has been debunked, got more news coverage in Canadian media today than the second day after realizing that Justin Trudeau had basically obstructed the RCMP's investigation. So the only thing that saved this episode of the CBC from getting a billion out of 10 is the fact that Rosemary Barden actually wasn't on the TV for the 2 hours that I watched. So it's just a 10 out of 10 on the Rosemary Barden scale for bias. I will see you all later tonight as I'm going to do live coverage of the post-debate that is sans Justin Trudeau because he is a massive coward.